Hi, Professor Travis White-Velez here, doing my interactive concept lab number 2. For this lab, I'm going to make a lava lamp. For this, you will need food coloring, something to pour everything into. So in this case, it's a water bottle, water, vegetable oil, and Alka-Seltzer tablets. So I'll be back momentarily to set up this lab and explain a little bit more about why the reactions that happen and why it's limited to one specific thing. Now that we have our supplies, we're going to get started. You're going to take your water bottle or the container you're using. You are going to fill that about 25% of the way full with water. All right. You are then going to take the vegetable oil and you're going to fill a little more than half. And then you're going to leave some space at the top so that you can have the escaping of gases. And so you'll see a clear separation between the water and the vegetable oil. You will then take your food coloring you will drop some food coloring in. Oh, all right, it's gotta open this, I guess. Drop some food coloring in. I dropped about 7 drops of food coloring in. From there, you will take your Alka-Seltzer tablet. Open it. Drop an Alka-Seltzer tablet in. The Alka-Seltzer tablet will go through the oil and into the water. And when the Alka-Seltzer starts to fizz, I'm giving it a little shake just so I can get some of that food coloring going in there. There we go, and now it's really going. So then I'm going to add another Alka-Seltzer tablet. Get that food coloring shaken up at the bottom, so we're concentrated there. There we go. Now our reaction's really going. I'm going to place the lid on top and close mine. There we go. I will be back in a moment and I will explain why what is happening and why it stops. Hi, and thank you for waiting. As you can see, the reaction has now stopped. The water has settled and the oil and water are continuing to separate. So the purpose of this experiment was to show the limiting reactants. So how long can a reaction take place, or how long can it continue to happen? Reactions can only actively take place until one of the reactants that's involved in the reaction runs out. The reactant that runs out is called or referred to as the limiting reactant. Again, the purpose of this is to show an example of not only a chemical reaction, but an example of a limiting reactant. In this case, it was the Alka-Seltzer tablet, and more specifically, it was the sodium bicarb that's in the Alka-Seltzer tablet. When the Alka-Seltzer tablet fully dissolved in the water, the reaction stopped, and when the Alka-Seltzer tablet, broke down from its original size, the reaction began to slow down as the sodium bicarb was being used up. When the sodium bicarbonate interacted with the water, it released CO2. CO2 is a gas which encapsulated some of the water that has the food coloring, traveled to the surface. When the gas reached the surface, the bubble popped, the gas was released, and the water that contained the food coloring traveled back down through the oil as it was more dense and fell back into its region. I hope I did a good job of explaining